Everybody. In this video, we will discuss about Porter's five forces. Porter's five forces is a strategic framework developed by Michael Porter to analyze the competitive dynamics within an industry. It helps businesses assess the attractiveness of an industry and understand the sources of competitive advantage or disadvantage. So, the five forces as given by Porter are threats of new entrants, bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitutes, intensity of competitive rivalry. So the first force, threat of new entrants. This involves barriers to entry, economies of scale, capital requirements, brand loyalty, etc. We'll discuss these items in detail. Barriers to entry involves evaluating the barriers that prevent new competitors from entering the market. These barriers may include economies of scale, that is, the existing players may benefit from cost advantages due to their scale of operations. Maybe there's a big scale company that has a cost advantage. This will make it difficult for new entrants to compete on that particular price. The second barrier to entry would be capital requirements. High initial investment or capital cost may deter new entrants from entering the market. If I have to invest a lot of money, then that will definitely create a hesitation in my mind. The third barrier would be brand loyalty. Established brands always enjoy customer loyalty and trust. They'll have customers who are very loyal to them, who trust them greatly, who will not be ready to switch over brands. So this will make it challenging for new entrants to gain a considerable market share. Access to distribution channels. Existing players may have well established distribution networks. This would make it difficult for new entrants to reach the customers. The regulatory hurdles. There may be government regulations or licensing requirements that would act as barriers to entry in certain industries. So, how do we evaluate these threats? Assessing the likelihood of new entrants overcoming these barriers and entering the market. Industries with high barriers are less vulnerable to new competition. So in those type of industries where there are a lot of barriers to entry, there would be very less competition or there would be very less new entrants coming into those type of industries. The second force is bargaining power of suppliers. Here we'll discuss on supplier concentration. So a small number of dominant suppliers means the suppliers will have more bargaining power. So the concentration of suppliers have a significant impact on the competitive advantage of the organization. If there are very less number of suppliers, then the suppliers will have an upper hand, but they'll have more bargaining power. Switching costs. High switching costs will make it difficult for buyers to switch to alternative suppliers. This will again give suppliers an additional leverage. Differentiation of inputs. Suppliers that offer unique or differentiated products might have a greater bargaining power. Forward integration threat. Suppliers who threaten to integrate forward into the industry. Suppliers who have the power of penetrating much into the industry will definitely have a greater bargaining power. Price sensitivity. Uh, Suppliers who are less sensitive to changing prices and demands will have a greater bargaining power. So, based on these, we may be able to analyze the extent to which a supplier can dictate us in terms of affecting the prices, quality, or supply reliability within the industry. The third force is bargaining power of buyers. A smaller number of large buyers may have more bargaining power. So, if the number of buyers who are there to purchase a product is very less, then it means the buyers will have a greater bargaining power. If the buyers are highly price sensitive and if they have the ability to negotiate lower prices, if they have the ability to negotiate for lower prices, again, they will have a greater advantage. Uh, if the buyers have a greater ability to switch between products or if they look for differentiated products, the buyer would easily transit between two different products, then they'll have an upper hand. On the other hand, if the products are highly differentiated, then this would have a detrimental impact on the buyer power. Uh, if the switching costs are high, buyers are less likely to switch from one product to the another. So here, the bargaining power of buyer gets reduces. So considering all these, we may be able to arrive at the degree to which buyers can influence prices, demand favorable terms, and exert pressure on industry profitability. The next force is threat of substitutes. So availability of substitutes. In case there are greater number of substitutes, or in case there are a larger number of substitute products to the product that we are working at, we may lack advantage because If not for me, the customer may go and get another product. Price performance trade off. Here, the price performance ratio of the substitutes have a greater impact. If the price to performance trade off is higher for the substitute, maybe they offer lesser price but greater performance, then it's obvious that the substitutes will have an upper hand. Switching costs, if the cost of switching between us and our substitute is higher. Like if a customer decides that he needs to switch from my organization to my substitute organization, and if that switching cost is higher, it is very less likely that he tends to switch. He'll definitely try to reduce the switching cost by retaining as my customer. So if the switching cost of substitute is higher, then this will reduce the threat of substitutes. Perceived quality. How the customers perceive the quality and value offered by the substitutes also matters. If the customers believe that the substitute brand is offering better quality and better value for money, it's very obvious that the threat of substitutes is higher here. So, determining the extent to which substitutes pose a threat to the industry's market share, pricing power, and profitability will help organizations gain a competitive advantage over their substitutes as well. The last force is intensity of competitive rivalry. So the number of competitors, uh, the number and size distribution of competitors in the industry matters. If there are a larger number of customers, I mean competitors, or if there is a competitor of a very big size, then that would definitely pose a threat to the organization. Industry growth rate. If the growth rate of the industry is higher, it obviously means the industry will attract more competitors, thereby intensifying the competitor rivalry. Product differentiation, greater differentiation in products or more the difference in the products of the competitors, lesser will be the direct competition. On the other hand, if all the competitors produce a similar product, then the degree of competition there is going to be very high. Exit barriers. If the exit barriers are high or if the cost of exiting the business is higher, this will prolong intense competition because if I have to pay a lot of money, if I have to spend a lot on leaving a particular business, then I would definitely not opt for leaving the business, but I try to stay back in that particular business. So this would definitely increase the competition. So industries having higher exit barriers will definitely have a prolonged competition. If the price competition between the competitors or the price competition between the competitors is high, if the competitors are more sensitive to prices, then this will again have a strong influence on the competitor advantage. So, assessing the overall intensity of competitive rivalry and its impact on industry profitability and sustainability would definitely be of great help for an organization to alter its competitive dynamics accordingly. So the Porter's five forces framework provides a structured approach to analyzing industry competitiveness and guiding strategic decision making. By examining each force in detail, businesses can gain deeper insights into industry dynamics, identify strategic opportunities and threats, and develop effective strategies to thrive in competitive markets.